In this session, we can discuss about estuaries. Estuaries are the opening of rivers to oceans. It's the region through which a river will open to a sea. If you see the satellite image, this is a river, and this river opens to the sea on this area, and this much area is called an estuary. And it has lot of producers in this region, and the nutrient from the river moves to sea through this area. Always you can see in the estuarian region the water is turbid, and mainly this turbidity is due to the presence of producers, and that is not dirt, but it is rich in producers, and hence they are very productive. And these estuaries are semi-solid or semi-enclosed areas where fresh water and sea water meet and mix. So these estuaries are having close interaction between land and sea. They are one of the most productive ecosystem in the environment and also in the earth. And lot of estuaries existing in the world are badly affected by human beings. As one side of estuary is river and the other side of estuary is sea, and this is a transition zone, and such transition zones are called ecotons. So estuaries are ecotons between freshwater and marine habitat. And towards the river side, the water is less saline, and towards marine side, water will be more and more saline. Based on the level of salinity, as we know, because of the waves and because of the tides, often saline water will be always in mixing with this estuaries. Due to the mixing of saline water with the river water, estuaries will be having salt content. Depending on the salinity level, estuaries are classified into three types. One is called a positive estuary. What is a positive estuary? These are estuaries which are having their salinity level lesser than the open sea. Of course, open sea is having salinity, but here salinity is less, and it is due to the higher inflow of fresh water. Always there is higher inflow of water from the river to this estuarian region, and also evaporation of water is lesser than, or the amount of water evaporated is lesser than the inflow. So always the salinity content will be lesser than the sea level. Second one is called a negative estuary, where the evaporation rate of that estuary is more, and as a result inflow of water is less. So inflow of water is less and evaporation is more, so the amount of salt is high. This is called negative estuaries. Third one is called a neutral estuary, and in neutral estuaries their salinity level is always in between the sea salinity level and a positive estuary level. Always, as I told you, there are positive and negative estuaries. Whenever in an estuary the salt concentration is between positive and negative estuaries, they are called neutral estuaries. Estuaries are very typical in terms of vegetation and the living forms present in them. Often estuaries are scattered along the shores of all oceans, and they are having different names also. Many estuaries are formed when a sea level rose, or due to melting of ice, maybe thousands of years ago. Due to melting of ice, sea level increased, so that estuary is formed. So water flow is blocked, water flow from the river is blocked, and there is water occluded there, or water collected there, and that lead to the formation of estuaries. And second one way of formation is sea inverted. See, for example, when the shore of the sea is deeper, or when they are lowlands, from the river mouth or from the river mouth, water will not move to the sea, and as a result, water will be collected there. Such estuaries are called drowned river valley estuaries. They are called drowned river valley estuaries. So anyhow, estuaries are formed by the accumulation of fresh water and saline water. Nevertheless, they are formed, or whatever may be the method by which these estuaries are formed, they are always a mixture of pure water and sea water. Let's see what are the physical features of estuaries. As I told you before, they are always having mixture of, they are always in a process of mixing of fresh and salt water. On one side of estuary there will be sea, and sea will be having waves. On the other side there is river. So always there is sea water will come to this pure water by waves, and thus there is a mixing of fresh and salt water is always happening. And this combination, because of this combination of saline water and fresh water, they are having unique physical and chemical properties. And these properties are very particular for the organisms which live there. The organisms which live on estuaries are typical, and they are affected by this kind of physical and chemical properties. And in an estuary, the upper water or the surface water will be having temperature fluctuations, and that is mainly due to the input of water, due to the input of fresh water, and the temperature variation is due to the level of input of fresh waters. And these estuaries are also influenced by tide action and currents. And as we know, due to wave, the sand will be deposited, or during next wave sand will be washed away. So always waves and wave currents or control erosion and deposition of particles or deposition of materials or sand on an estuary. So erosion and deposition on estuary is controlled by wave action. And when it is not raining, or when during drought season, water movements are reduced, and as a result, in an estuary water will be evaporated, and that will lead to oxygen depletion, high amount of salt accumulation, death of algae by algal blooming, and death of fishes and other estuarial animals. This is often happening during drought condition. And if you see the bottom portion of an estuary, that is always muddy, and there are a lot of nutrient rich silt and sediments are deposited, and water is highly turbid, and very less light is penetrated through this water, and thus it prevent or it reduces the growth of benthic, bottom dwelling autotrophs. Normally free floating upper dwelling autotrophs are present in abundance in a estuary. High organic content, luxuriant bacterial growth and decomposition leading to higher biological demand is a feature of these estuaries. That is, bacteria are very, as I told you in the very beginning, the underground portion of an estuary is totally muddy and silty deposition are there, and on that region there are a lot of bacteria are present. Due to the presence of this bacteria, decomposition will be high. When this decomposition happens, they will be in need of biological oxygen. That is called a biological oxygen demand. So the biological oxygen demand is high in estuaries. And though all these conditions are prevailing, estuarian water is highly productive. And we can see a lot of typical species in this area, or some species of organisms only grow in estuarian zone, not in any other zone. So normally there are only low species or less number of species can be observed, but they will be abundantly present. Such the species which are existing in an estuary will be abundantly present in that region. And this is the region where, see, this is the sea water, this is the sea, and from the sea water is invading to the land. This is the river, and when you see this, as the salt water is dense, so this is a region where sea water and fresh water merge, and this side is the river side and this is the sea side. When they are merging together, as sea water is salty, they always form a wedge shape. They tend to be on the bottom. Seawater will tend to be on the bottom and the river water will flow on the top. So like this, seawater will form a salt, like a wedge like this. Like the seawater will exist, and over the layer you can see, on the upper surface you can see pure water. And this wedge is called salt wedge. And this salt wedge formation is a typical phenomena of estuaries. The estuarine organisms are having a lot of adaptations. The living in an estuary is not that easy. So they, with the help of body fluids and with the help of salt and water balance, they will manage themselves in an estuary. Anyhow, most of the estuary organisms and marine organisms can tolerate low and high salinities. The estuarine organism, depending on their ability to tolerate salinities, can be classified differently. The euryhalin species can tolerate wide range of salinities. Some mollusks are belonging to that group, whereas stenohalin species can tolerate only narrow range of salinities. When the higher level of salinity changes come, stenohalin species cannot survive. So there are euryhalin species and stenohalin species are present within an estuary. And how these organisms manage the salinity? Coming to animals, some organisms are called osmoconformers. That means they will change depending on the salinity of the environment. They will change the property of their body fluid. They are called osmoconformers. The second group is called osmoregulators. That means their fishes are belonging to this group. They always, regardless or whether whatever may be the salinity on the environment, they will keep the internal salinity a constant. Like that they will grow. And because of the nutrient rich behavior or nutrient rich condition of this estuarine region, often fishes will migrate to this region for spawning. When a sea fish move to fresh water for breeding, they are called anadromous fish. And when a fish from river moves to sea, it is called catadromous. Like these two kinds of fishes are observed in this region. And the organisms present in these regions can be either freshwater species, brackish organisms, euryhalin and stenohalin organisms. Anyhow, they are very productive. These regions are nutrient traps. They promote, and the nutrient of this region is because of tidal action. So always the nutrient will be circulated, and from the river lot of intake of waste material will come there, and large amount of producers will be there. These are the reasons for their productivity. And coming to the significance of these estuaries, they are breeding areas of prawn, shrimp and other fishes, and the bottom mud flats are the regions of organic decomposition, and they are the regions of nutrient recycling. And of course the mangroves, the halophytes and the mangroves are growing exclusively in these areas. And these estuaries are the migratory stop off of lot of migratory bats. Migratory bats will come and sit there, or they will rest on these zones, and they are the nesting ground of many of the birds. And also often commercial rearing of fishes and shrimps are being carried out in this estuarine areas. These are the significance of an estuarine ecosystem. And thank you very much for your patient listening.